Okay, we left off at page 35. Okay, the customer said, I had a service contract on my last car and I never used it. Has anybody ever heard that objection from a consumer?
Yes.
Well, now let's see, names. I got to get names down. David, now are you a married man or a single man?
Single, and I like it that way.
Okay, you married man or single man? Single. Oh, boy.
Not married, but might as well.
Oh, not that, single or married?
I'm married.
Okay, now, you're a married man. Have you made any provision to take care of your wife in the event of your untimely death, sir?
Yes.
Are we talking about what, life insurance?
Life insurance.
Did you have it last year?
Yes.
Are you pissed off you didn't die? Had that damn life insurance and never used it. Sir, you do not complain about having life insurance and not using it. I bet your wife has insurance on her personal car.
Yes.
Are you pissed off if she didn't have a head-on collision so you could collect?
I'm here to plead the fifth.
So in other words, even though your car insurance costs 3 to 10 times as much as your life insurance, as your service contract, although your car insurance costs 3 to 10 times as much as your service contract, you got 300% greater chance of using your service contract. 300% greater chance of making a claim on a service contract, depending on your driving record and your age, 3 to 10 times as much for your car insurance. But you're not complaining about not having a claim on your car insurance. You buy it in the event that you might have an accident. You buy the service contract in the event that you might have a claim. Although in the first 3 years, 80% of the claims are under $100, $150. You have almost no liability during the factory warranty period. So you had one on your last car, you never used it. But you didn't use your life insurance, you didn't use your car insurance, you're not complaining about that.
You know, a lot of the manufacturers, Ford has it on theirs. If you buy a 6-year, 70,000 mile or better warranty, and you never make a claim, Ford will reimburse you at the end of return.
They will.
They will, 100% of the money.
But you have to take it out to the very end.
Well, that's the thing that Ford has. You know, most people are going to trade it before that.
Yeah.
The selling approach for us, if you never use it.
Now I'm going to tell you something that you're going to find funny or incredulous. I invented that process. That came from me. The service contract lifetime guarantee. I invented the lifetime guarantee, and I'm going to say I invented it in 1988 to show you how far back that goes. But yeah, that if you don't use it, we'll refund you 100% of your money, provided you never had a claim or anything that qualifies for a claim. Original owner only must still be in the original owner's name, must still be in working condition, have nothing that had a claim or was qualified for a claim that you elected not to have repaired. We'll give you 100% of the money back you originally paid for the service contract. We invented that in the 80s, and I was working with Ford at the time, and they still have that program available. That's one of my programs. It's one of my programs, and it really works. What if a customer says, well, Mr. Ziegler, I trade my cars frequently. I really don't need a service contract. What would you say in that eventuality? I trade frequently. I trade before the factory warranty is done. What would you say?
You go into the refundable aspects of it.
The refundable aspects of it. It covers things that are not covered under the initial factory warranty period. And Mr. Customer, it makes your car more valuable when you sell it to the next owner. It makes your car more valuable if you would sell your car outright. Now, there are 3 sources out there that appraise what cars are worth. You got Kelley Blue Book, you've got Black Book. I really don't count Edmunds, but I would say that the Used Car Buying Guide, formerly NADA, Used Car Buying Guide, Black Book, and Kelley Blue Book, all 3 of those entities have a phrase somewhere in the first part of the book or in the first, if it's a computerized program, it's disclaimed, that A car that has been dealer reconditioned, certified, or bears a guarantee or warranty should bring a premium price above the values published in this book. So I don't care if it's Kelley Blue Book, Used Car Buying Guide, or whether it's Black Book. All three of those entities say that a car that has been dealer reconditioned, certified, or bears a transferable guarantee or warranty are worth more money than the values in the book. So, Mr. Customer, I can show you right here with third-party evidence your car is worth more money if you sell it to a third party with a transferable service contract. So that's why we sold you more. Have you ever had a customer say, well, Mr. Ziegler, that service contract is too much money? They're going to say, how much is that service contract? Well, Mr. Ziegler, that service contract is $28 a month. It's included in your platinum package. Well, how much is that service contract? Now they've asked me twice. Sir, that service contract is $2,250. The second time, you throw it right out there. You don't. The first time, I'm gonna say it's $28 a month included in the package you selected. The second time, sir, that's $2,250. We're not here to hide figures. Okay, it's $2,250. That's a lot of money. Now listen to this. This is one of my best F&I closes. Anytime a customer says that interest rate's rather high, that service contract is rather expensive, don't ever answer objections that nobody made. Don't ever answer objections that nobody said to you. One of the worst things I see in the F&I office is we anticipate what they must mean by that. They said, well, that interest rate's rather high. My answer is, yes, it is. That interest rate's rather high. Yes, it is. That's my only answer. Let's wait to see what they say next. Agree with them. That service contract's expensive. Yes, it is. Try that sometime. They didn't say they weren't going to buy it. They just commented that it was expensive, and you went off and started discounting. They didn't say they weren't going to take it yet. Agree with them. Yes, it is. One of my best F&I closes. And it works all the time. Well, I'm not paying $2,800 for the service contract. No, sir, you're not. That's a fictitious figure on the contract. Everybody heard that? No, sir, you're not paying $2,800 for the service contract. Well, it says so right here. Sir, that is only the amount you would pay if you kept it for the full 6 years or 100,000 miles. That's only the amount you would pay if you kept it for the full term and the full miles. We know from past history that you have a history of trading your cars in or selling them and getting the refund on the service contract. All service contracts are refunded pro rata based on miles or term in all states, whichever the greatest percentage of has elapsed. Mr. Customer, what we're saying is you don't keep your cars long enough to pay the full $2,800. A service contract, you only pay as it's earned. Everybody got that? With a service contract, you only pay what is earned as it's earned. It's pro rata. It's not based on the rule of 78s or any front-loaded rate. It's based pro rata, evenly distributed. Based on miles or term, whichever the percentage of has elapsed, greatest percentage. You're never going to pay the full $2,800 unless you keep it for the full 6 years or the full 100,000 miles. If you trade this car in previous to the 6 years or the 100,000 miles, any unearned part of that money is refunded to you or directly to the lender. It is never charged to you. So you're not going to pay that much unless you earn that much, unless you use that much. You only pay for a service contract the amount you use as you use it. Is that a good presentation? You're never going to pay $2,800. You're worried about how much money the bank has advanced to the service contract company. That has nothing to do with you. Have you paid me $2,800 so far? No. Next month, will you have paid me $2,800 with your first payment? No, you're not ever going to pay that $2,800 unless you keep the service contract for the full term, which you have a history of not doing. The only reason you have excess term and excess miles, if you sell it to a third party, it makes your car more valuable. You see what I'm saying? You like that? That is one really strong presentation. And once again, original Ziegler stuff. You won't hear that anywhere else, but it's just a strong, you'll never pay. It's a fictitious figure. You will not pay that much. I've had people say, well, how much is the interest? Well, not as high as your credit cards. You know, that's one for your secondary people.
Or the most allowed by Georgia law.
Yes. Well, Mr. Ziegler, this is a Honda. Your salesman just told me that this car could take a direct ground zero nuclear hit. And now you're telling me my car's going to break. You build a quality car, I'll take my chances. Anybody ever heard that? That guy's out there all the time, isn't he? Well, Mr. Customer, now listen to this one. An automobile is 15,000 high-tech component parts. Plastic, metal, rubber, glass, space-age materials, welded, bolted, riveted, fused, glued together by human beings and robots. Some of these parts are moving at speeds in excess of 10,000 RPMs, less than 3,000th of an inch of clearance, 1,000th of an inch of lubrication, rubbing or braiding against each other, creating high levels of heat, more than 1,000 times the computer memory we put Apollo 11 on the moon with in July of 1969.
I'll take it.
Repeat that back to me.
Record that.
What?
Can we just record that and just play it?
Mr. Customer, an automobile is 15,000 high-tech component parts. Plastic, metal, rubber, glass, space-age materials, welded, stapled, bolted, riveted, fused, glued together by human beings and robots. Some of these parts moving to speeds in excess of 10,000 RPMs, less than 3,000th of an inch of clearance, 1,000th of an inch of lubrication, rubbing or braiding against each other, creating high levels of heat, with more than 1,000 times the computer memory we put Apollo 11 on the moon with in July of 1969. If this car was 98% perfect, 300 things would break. If this car was 98% perfect, 300 parts would fail. If this car was 99.9% perfect, 15 parts would fail. Sir, we build a great car and we stand behind it. And still in all, something's going to happen. 15,000 high-tech component parts. Now, that whole word track is written out in your book, by the way. Page 37, the entire word track is written out in your book. And I'll tell you what, when you memorize that word track, the customers do what you guys did. They go, I have been known to say that in the F&I office with a straight face and just watch them. By the time I get to 15,000 high-tech component parts, plastic, metal, rubber, glass, space-age materials, they go, what?
Try that, see what happens.
Hey, memorize that, and I promise it'll entertain you for life. Especially in Statesboro, Savannah.
Does it work?
Oh, it works. 98% perfect, 300 parts that fail.
No, I'm talking about the previous one. 10,000 RPMs, less than 3,000. Have you actually used that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Make their head explode.
Well, it does.
I like the last one.
They don't bring the last back. You know what I mean? Like, wow, that's amazing.
Apollo 11 on the moon with that.
Well, the customer says, well, Mr. Ziegler, I got 3 years to buy this service contract. I can come in anytime and buy this while it's still under factory warranty. Now, is that true? That is true, they can. Mr. Customer, you can buy this service contract, this parts and labor program at a later time. But if you do, we will still prorate it back to today's date and today's miles. Number one. Number two, I've had 3 price increases in the last 2 years, And if you procrastinate, we're certainly going to have more price increases, and you're still going to get the same coverage. You're going to miss the wear and tear. You're going to miss the trip interruption. You're going to miss the towing. You're going to miss the rental car. You're going to miss the consequential damage that would be covered during that period of time you elected not to have the coverage. And you're probably going to end up putting it on your credit card at credit card interest if you did come back and buy it 2 years from now. As opposed to the low interest rate I've got with the subsidized program, I can put it on your contract right now and give you immediate coverage. So in other words, I've had several price increases. There's certainly going to be some. And the truth of the matter is, you procrastinate. Now, you don't need to admit it to me, Mr. Customer, but if you don't do it now, you'll probably never get around to it. And then all of a sudden, you've got a major repair and you're not covered. I believe in it. I've seen it do too many things for too many people. If you were one of my personal relatives, I'd never let you leave here without it. As a matter of fact, if you give me any opportunity, I'm going to make an aggressive effort to sell it to you because I really do believe in it. I go right back to that. I believe in it. You need it. If you're one of my relatives, you'd never leave here without it. Strong, strong word track.